All right, welcome to Friday Feelings. I'm Jenelle Friday, your host, and today we are diving into a topic that has the power to transform your life: gratitude. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you, it's a mindset, it's a practice, and it's an emotional tool that can shift the way you see yourself, your relationships, and the world around you. I am absolutely thrilled to have Priscilla Fletcher joining me today. Together, we'll explore how practicing gratitude can create meaningful change even during life's most difficult moments. So let's get started. So, first, Priscilla, thank you so much for being here and being willing to come and speak. I would love for you to just give the audience a quick little bio about you. Mm. That's amazing. And when I was working on episode titles for 2025 and I was thinking through all the elements of emotional intelligence, gratitude is such a huge part of my life. And it's something that you and I have connected on. And so when you picked this episode, I was absolutely thrilled. So, can you help us understand gratitude from your perspective and why it matters to you so much? Mm, mm, mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I think to your point, I think our culture highlights the acquisition of things, of stuff. We're never satisfied, we're never fulfilled. And so, when we lose something or when something goes missing, my husband says a lot, you go buy stuff and then you don't like it, you got to return it. And I don't want to have to return it. So it's like there's that essence of being grateful. And I think it goes deeper beyond just being grateful for the circumstances or the things in life, right? It's grateful for each other, all of the different qualities and perspectives of mankind. But I'm curious from your perspective, why do you think gratitude has such a profound effect on our emotional resilience and on our relationships? Mm, mm, yeah. Mm, Mm. Mm. Oh, wow. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's really big. And really when we think about why do our bodies respond to gratitude in such a positive healthy way, when you think through the emotions that you feel when you're being grateful, you're thankful, you're positive, you're thinking about the person or the thing that you're grateful for, you're manifesting positive energy within yourself. And whether you take that step physically to put gratitude out there towards someone else or say something positive, being in a grateful mindset, your mind is producing thoughts that trigger chemicals that equate to emotions in your body. And then that results in the behavior that you are practicing gratitude. So there's science behind positive mentality, positive thoughts, positive mindsets physically gets our body in a healthy, happy place. And the longer it stays there or more you practice that, your body loves habits, and having this positive grateful mindset habitually means your body is used to your chemicals being happy. It's those happy bubbles that are part of our life when we practice gratitude. So let's shift a little bit and talk about the impact of gratitude, right? The bigger picture, which is you may be on a boat in the middle of the ocean, lost, and find things to be grateful for. You may be in the middle of a layoff and you don't have a job waiting for you, and there's fear and uncertainty. You can practice gratitude. There's massive impact that gratitude can have because, to your point, Priscilla, it's a choice. So whether your life looks like you should be grateful or not, you can always find ways to practice gratitude or stay in a gratitude mindset and have that be a positive impact. So help me understand, or help our listeners understand, the emotional and practical benefits of practicing gratitude in your own life. What have you seen as a result of your focus on gratitude? Mm. 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 Yeah. Yeah, and to your point, right? That emotion of you wake up in the morning. Maybe I started this morning with a headache. It's cold. I've got my two nephews sleeping on the couch. I have a new puppy in the house. It's stressful, and I just wanted to lay in bed and put my covers back over my head. Like I don't want to deal with today. But if we allowed our feelings to dictate our behavior or our actions, most of us would lay in bed for 10 years, right? It's difficult to feel something and choose something else instead. And so I'm wondering, is there a time that you can talk about where you were surprised by gratitude and how it shifted your mentality in the moment or in the specific circumstances you found yourself in? Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. I love that. Mm, mm, mm. That's an incredible story, Priscilla. I mean, you talk about loss and grief and heartache, and I probably am guessing correctly that gratitude didn't remove those feelings or emotions, right? You still struggle with grief, you still struggle with loss, but the ability to find even a moment of gratitude in that circumstance. It's like I remember listening to a video. They talked about how their mom loved red cardinals, right? And after she passed, they really felt disconnected, and then a red cardinal showed up in their background in their backyard, and they weren't native to their area. And how this red cardinal found its way to their backyard, and it was this moment of remembering that individual and what they brought to your life, and to be grateful for that. And even in that split second, that moment, your choice to be grateful for your daughter and the gift that he gave you in your daughter and the time you had together, that's a beautiful story. And I just want to highlight that to listeners who are dealing with grief, who are dealing with trauma, who are in the middle of life struggling to find things to be grateful for, that find your cardinal. Find the one bubble of moment in your life where you can set aside the emotions you feel and find something to be grateful for. So, maybe Priscilla, could you talk about, let's get into practical ways to cultivate gratitude, right? So, it's not just enough to have this moment of saying, oh, well, I'm thinking about this man that I loved and I lost, and I have my daughter, and it's overwhelming. You had to make a choice. So, just thinking about something is usually not enough. We have to get it out of our heads. And so, let's talk a little bit about ways that you cultivate and practice gratitude in your life. Yeah, it's so true. Mm, mm. Although sometimes that's still a good thing to be grateful for. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. I love that. And I mean, when you think about what you're doing is you're pulling out goodness of you to give to other people because in return, it fills you back up. And I love that because again, too, when we're in the midst of toxic negative emotions or thoughts, it's easy to get confine ourselves or silo ourselves within that state of mind. And so what gratitude does is it lifts us up and out of that state of mind to focus on something or someone else in a positive way, and just that emotion itself can break a stint of depression or can break a downward mental spiral, to get you outside of yourself and focus on something that's positive. I think that's really amazing. How what kind of advice or how can you take some of these practices and help someone who's listening who might feel stuck or overwhelmed with where they're at in life right now? Mm, mm. Yeah, I love that. And I think one thing I talk a lot about with Lionheart is change doesn't happen in your mind alone. You have to get it out of your mind, you have to get it out of your head and write it down. So Priscilla's talking about gratitude journaling, and I want to break the misnomer around journaling. Journaling is not a dear diary moment. It literally can be a notebook, and each day you start with the date and you start with three things you're grateful for. And maybe you don't write anything else in that notebook. It's just for the things that you're grateful for. I also want to highlight a really key point, which is don't be grateful for the sake of being grateful. Don't say thank you to someone so you can pat yourself on the back and say, oh, well, I did a good job. I said thank you. There was a really profound comment at a customer success collective event where someone said, when was the last time you thanked your product team for the update that they did? And I thought to myself, never. I never thanked a product team for their time. And when you think it through that, it's like we, especially in customer success, that's kind of the world that we live in right now. We're constantly needing affirmation that we are adding value, that we are productive, that we're helping customers. We are people that affirmation shows us that we're good at our jobs. And I think all of us can do a better job of thinking through what role within your organization is doing a great job, and it's what they're paid to do, but it's still their job, and they pour their lives into that job. When was the last time you said thank you, genuinely thankful, being grateful for what they do and how they contribute to your job? And so if you're listening to this and you're thinking through ways to be grateful and you're not sure in your personal life, start with your professional life. Maybe find a team member that you've never interacted with, or they're in a department you've never um, really understood, and just offer a genuine thank you for what they do or how they've made your life or your customers' lives better. And you have to start somewhere. So pick one thing that that you can be genuinely grateful for, or someone you can say thank you to, and start there. And take stock in how that makes you feel. How does your body respond to that? How does your mind respond to that? Your body is going to indicate to you that it feels good, right? When we feel positive emotions, the body reflects that. So this is also an exercise that as you get further into it, as you do it more, as you show gratefulness more, you're going to see a physical change in how you feel through those moments. So we're in our last couple minutes. So I want to just put a question out there to our listeners. What's one thing that you're grateful for today, and how can you carry that feeling forward? Just pick one thing, like Priscilla said, and don't just think about it. Do something about it. Get it out of your head and onto paper, onto a card, bake cookies, whatever it might be. Do one thing. Um, I'm going to ask, if someone is listening today and you're new to gratitude practices, what's one simple action that you can take away to get started? Again, find one thing. When you listen to this podcast and you think through Priscilla's offerings and what she's doing, there's probably one thing that resonates with you. So this episode is to encourage you to try gratitude practices. Get out of your thoughts, get out of your head, pull yourself out of the negative or toxic mindset or the emotions that you might be feeling, and reflect on the positive impact that gratitude is going to have for you. And in our last minute, Priscilla, is there anything specific or one last bit of wonderfulness you can share with us around gratitude? Mm, mm, mm. That's a great tip. Mm. I love that. That's such a great tip. Well, we're out of time, but Priscilla, thank you so much for joining us today. If you're tuning in, thanks for being here, and I can't wait till next time. Have a good one, everybody.